Who?
Okay, so John never gonna move here, but he's all set up tech-wise.
He wants to isolate himself down there.
That's right.
Like COVID days.
What kind of guy
Gotta
he
have my
is,
distance. Oh. I gotta do this, huh?
Let's go.
It's not 6 o'clock.
Get it rolling.
Mickey, look, it does not say 6.
You have 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Look at Ryan's.
Oh, where's the flag? Where's the flag?
Oh, I see it back there. Good
You
job.
gotta put it out first.
So, this one I read, right? Both of these, or do you read this one, because it's just a motion?
You do this. You say this and then you go to that.
Okay.
Bring the meeting to order. If we could stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Normally, at this point, I would ask Beth for a roll call. Beth is off today, so Jody is our sub. So,
We actually get it.
Beth, I need a roll call.
Okay. Mr. Berman,
I'm here.
Mr. Manfredi,
Here,
Mrs. Miller here, Mrs. Stone,
absent.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Here.
Okay. We need a first and a second to make Jody the pro tem for the August board meeting. I'll make the motion.
Now second.
Right. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Manfredi,
Yes.
I have to abstain on this, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Mrs.
Yes.
Miller abstain. Mrs. Stone absent. Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Mr. Berman.
Yes.
Okay. I need a first and a second for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Brian,
I'll second.
Jody. Any discussion? Roll call, Jody.
Mrs. Miller, yes. Mrs. Stone, Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Mr. Berman,
Yes.
Mr. Manfredi.
Yes. I need a first and a second for approval of the minutes. I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Dan? Any discussion?
No, sir.
Jody, roll call, please.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Mr. Berman,
Yes.
Mr. Manfredi,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
Linda is still absent. Okay, we are at the point of the meeting for public participation. We are going to ask Jonathan Tiber to please come forward. He would like to address the public and the board. You aren't on any time limit because the request was made.
Thank you. You should be happy to know that I cut it way back anyway. You know, I was telling Amy that nobody ever is disappointed when a speaker is done speaking earlier than people expect. So, all right. So thank you, board, for allowing me to present this. My daughter is a 2017 graduate of Berkshire High School. I am a 1988 graduate of Berkshire High School, which I believe, to the best of my knowledge, is the largest graduating class in the history of Berkshire. I believe we had 150 graduate that year.
Wow.
So before I let you know the purpose of why I'm here, what I'm presenting to you, I want to give a little bit of background. Between 1922 and 1924, 5 Ohio counties formed county township associations. All right. In 1928, 41 counties formed associations. So why the flurry in 1928? Because a joint committee of the General Assembly in Columbus that year did a report and a recommendation that the Senate pass a bill to abolish townships, to abolish local government, and just strictly have county government. Oh boy, what is his name? Mr. E.L. Kinzingberg, I believe his name was. He was a township trustee. He was 83 years old and a Civil War veteran. He traveled around Ohio to and sent out letters to 6,000 township officials, alerting them of a meeting in Columbus for the purpose of forming a state township association to thwart that effort by the legislatures. That's what happened, and the threat was quashed. All right. So what about today? We need to always be aware that there are always lobbyists, and always will be certain groups that are seeking to dismantle, to centralize government. All right. We had a threat this year. It was a threat to strip local zoning authority away from townships and centralize it. So could you imagine a one-size-fits-all state zoning code where what's best for Burton Township is also what's best for Bainbridge Township, which is also what's best for some 130,000 population township outside of Columbus? All right. There are 1,308 townships in Ohio. A little trivia question. How much of Ohio's population, percentage-wise, lives in townships? About 38%. Okay. In Geauga County, about 90% of us live in townships. So we are township heavy in our county. We have an association ourselves. It's made up of 170 members plus, and that's every trustee, fiscal, township, a lot of township staff, virtually every elected county official, including all department heads, county department heads. It's strong. We know each other. We exist not just for networking and being on this, not the same page, but participating and together, collaboration, but for advocacy and support, to support local government. In fact, we're still so strong that threat that I was telling you about the zoning authority, I drafted a letter to Columbus defending local zoning authority, and I asked 70 elected Geauga County officials to sign it. Guess how many signed it? 70. Every one of them. And not every one of them is on the same political aisle, but we all recognize the importance of local government. All right, so what is one of the reasons that these centralized government people give for abolishing a township authority or local authority? One of them, and this is what I want to address tonight, is they assert that there is a lack of interest to support local government. So is that assertion true? Is there a lack of interest to support local government? It is true to a degree. There is a lack of interest. Okay, we got to fill boards. All right, and sometimes it's challenging. But why is there a lack of interest? I think it's our job and our duty to, at the very least, create opportunity for Berkshire students to get interested in local government. At least create opportunity. And that's why I'm here today, to offer Berkshire two things. One is I would be willing to come in, if you'll have me, to speak to a government class or classes or whoever you see fit to garnish that interest. Okay. I know how to do it in a fun way. I've worked with youth for all my life. Okay. And the second way, so if you could consider that, the second way is through Leadership Geauga. They have a youth program. It's a wonderful program. And there's several Berkshire youth that just went through it, students, in fact. And here, I just want to yield just a couple minutes to Miss Amy Murfello with Leadership Geauga. And then I will wrap things up rapidly after her.
Okay, hello, everyone. So like John said, I'm Amy Murfello. I am the Marketing and Outreach Manager for Leadership Geauga. If you don't know, Leadership Geauga is a 501c3. We are fully nonprofit, not government funded at all, just solely ran on grants and donations. We have 3 programs. One is an adult program, a heritage program for retirees, and we also have a youth program, which John referenced. So I'm here just to kind of talk about what our Youth Institute looks like. So it's for rising juniors and seniors in area high schools. We meet 2 weeks in June for 3 days each. So it's like 6 class days for 2 weeks. A part of that is also an additional day of a mentorship where when the student applies, They indicate a field that they're interested in, and we pair them up with a mentor for a day so they can experience what that career field would be like. On orientation day, we do a soft skills training where we talk about eye contact, how to shake hands, how to dress for, interviews and going to work, how to introduce yourself, things like that. We also do a lot of team building. It's more like fun stuff to keep the kids engaged, obviously. And then also some leadership training. So we do an assessment called Clifton Strengths, and the students are sent this prior to, and they complete it and come to orientation with this assessment about themselves. And it outlines like their strengths and uniqueness about them as individuals. And so then hopefully, we have a facilitator that comes in and goes over these results and hoping that they recognize this about themselves. And then after high school, they can apply that to whatever their career goals or college or whatever that looks like. Then the rest of the days we meet, there are themed days. We have like agriculture day, business day, government day, arts and leisure, business day. I don't know if I hit them all, but so each of those days then we spend on a bus going around the county and just exposing the youth to the different career opportunities in our county. They participate in hands-on activities. They go on behind-the-scene tours for all these different industries. We have the leaders at these organizations kind of talk about how they got to that role, if it was a traditional or non-traditional, and also what those organizations offer as far as benefits package and what positions they currently have open. So then just to give you a quick synopsis of this past June, we had the class of 2024, we had 25 students from 8 school districts, and that was our largest class to date so far. Including homeschool students. We traveled 81 miles on the bus around the county. We visited 20 organizations and businesses, and we had the students meet with 55 different leaders. So they just get a lot of exposure to what our county offers in hopes they also come back or stay here and become employed in Geauga too. We also, then at the very last day, we end with graduation, and that's where we invite the families and friends of the students to come, and they share out about their mentorship experience, what they learned throughout the program, and they receive like a certificate of completion. And we were invited to speak at the Geauga County Township Association meeting in January, and I was approached by a trustee there that from Chester Township who wanted to sponsor students to come through the program. And so he worked with South Russell and West Geauga School District, and the school district identified the students, and then the townships paid for the students to come through. So it was a really cool partnership, and so John and I have been talking about how we can further that throughout the rest of the townships and school districts in the county. That's all.
Thank you, Amy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Amy Murfello. Okay, so regarding that, that's my other offering. The Clarendon Township Board of Trustees already decided to sponsor a Clarendon Berkshire student to go through this program. I have reached out already to the other 5 communities in Berkshire because there are technically 6. I reached out to all of them to encourage them to do the same thing for one of their students. Okay, so that's the other thing. So I do want to say that Berkshire students are, even though they don't seem it all the time, they're energetic, right? They're taught right from wrong. They are, they have great examples of common sense, service, sense of duty by their families and other community members. Where could this lead? I mean, who better than Berkshire students to in the future be the leaders, or the servant leaders in Geauga County and our communities? It is the right here that we're interested in promoting and garnishing interest in. All right. So for the sake of preserving what is proven over and over to be the purest form of American democracy, the local government. That's all I got. Any questions or comments? Or was I pretty clear?
Yes. We'll talk about the Berkshire community or Berkshire specific. You had mentioned homeschool students. So in your mind, are any students within the Berkshire community eligible?
To tell you the truth, Mr. Manfredi, we haven't gotten that far, to be honest. I know a lot of my own family does homeschooling, some of them. I didn't even think about them on this, but it's something to consider. All right, and there's some Clarendon students that go to Chardon High School. That's something to consider. This is a $300 sponsorship, so it's not like it's a ton of money. So it's manageable.
Okay, yeah, and what I would say to that is, at least my opinion, I'm not speaking for everybody else, just John.
Understood.
That if you're offering for those townships and village, I'm assuming that's who you were speaking about.
I'm offering for Clarendon.
Right,
students.
I understand.
They
but
could
if-
offer for them, yeah.
When they offer
Yeah.
that, they offer it for whomever's in the Berkshire community, just as a suggestion.
I think it's a worthy suggestion, and I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, thank you for the extended time, too.
Anyone else?
Thanks, Mr. Tyber. We
Yeah,
will
thank you both.
definitely, we will definitely have you coming in to speak to the government classes as
Thank you,
well.
Mr. Sauter. Thanks for seeing the importance of that. Thank you.
Yeah, and if there's, Jonathan, if you need us to put together a resolution, anything to support it, we'd be happy to do so.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'm going to work it out. I'm going to see how they did it over there in Chesterland and kind of copy and paste and maybe even see if we can make it better. So thank you very much.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
My daughter just finished the Teen Institute with Amy, and she was over the moon with it, which she was kind of lukewarm before it because she really didn't know what to expect, and then she went, and she just told me last week, I hate to say it, but I really miss leadership Geauga. And I was like, haha, told you so.
Told you so.
So she had a great experience. So I'm excited to, that you guys are working together to make this happen for more Berkshire students that might not be able to do it otherwise. We certainly, like you said, Jonathan, have a large group of very worthy kids that we can invest in. So I'm excited to see more of them have that opportunity.
Anything else? Okay. We are still in the public comment of public participation. So if there's anybody else that would like to come forward, now's the time.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say a kudos to Jonathan. He is very humble about what he does for our area. He networks with not just townships, but UH Hospital and lots of different things. So you're going to really be praising him when he does this. Anyways, so I apologize if my phone rings. I have to go. And then I'll listen to your answer later on the video because I'm waiting for a phone call from a doctor. I would just like an update on where are we going to do the diesel stuff this year? And what's going on with the fairgrounds people? Because I don't know.
Diesel
And
class this year will be in the same building on the fairgrounds. We were granted a stay
Yay.
until the court case is litigated. We have a court mandated mediation in Trumbull County in the appeals court a week from Wednesday. We will be, our request is one more year in the building because we have a place to move the diesel program for next year, which will be in the ODOT facility that's across the street from Preston Auto.
Okay. And does that give you enough time to get that ODOT facility ready then?
Yeah, so we were just awarded a grant from the state that was sponsored by Senator O'Brien.
Oh,
And-
yes, I remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that will help with renovation. And we have another grant from the Ohio Department of Education that we should find out about this week. And that would completely finish the renovation. So that this school year would give us plenty of time to get ready. We're also partnering with Preston Auto and with Great Lakes Cheese on adding some components to that program.
Oh, okay. Good. Thank you. And the fairgrounds water thing? Nobody emailed me, so I'm still here.
Right, because we're going to the court mediated session. If there are sessions after that,
Oh,
then
for both things?
the court have thrown them all into one.
Oh, it might save you some money. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Vicki.
Anyone else for public participation? Okay, good.
Perfect timing.
With that, we are to Jody for the treasurer's report.
Very official. All right. Let the record reflect that the treasurer has submitted a statement to the board and to the superintendent showing the revenues and receipts from whatever sources derived, the various appropriations made by the board, the expenditures and disbursements therefrom, the purposes thereof, and the balances remaining in each fund. The financial statements for the period ending July 2024 have been submitted to audit and include the financial summary, appropriations and revenue summary, check register recap, and bank reconciliation per ORC 3313.29 as listed. And then I need a motion to approve the following financial amendments, giving $10,000 to the athletics general, moving $10,000 to the athletic general, and moving $59.01 to the safety grant.
So move.
Brian,
Seconded.
Dan, any discussion? Roll call, Jody.
Mr. Berman?
Yes.
Mr. Manfredi?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
And that's all for the treasurer's report. Thank you.
Well done.
We are to the superintendent's report.
Okay, before I get into my report, there are a couple of things. I do recognize we have one of our new teachers in the audience, so I'm going to give her a chance to say hi to the board. So Mrs. Pasquinelli, if you want to come up to the mic, she will be teaching elementary school music this year. I'll let her introduce herself to you, and then you all can say hi to her.
Hi, I'm Mara Pasquinelli. I'm the new elementary music teacher. As Dr. Stoddard said, I'm a recent graduate of Baldwin Wallace University. I have a Bachelor of Music Education. I student taught at Cloverleaf Elementary in general music K through 5, and I'm really excited to get to work here.
Awesome, great.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, I want to tell you something. We finally have a music department that has taught our kids the proper way to play the Star Spangled Banner and to play our alma mater. You at the younger level can start them anytime to do the same and keep the tradition going.
Will do.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
So Mrs. Pasquinelli is joining a great music department who, since we moved into this building, have increased participation in music by 400%.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
I also have, I'm going to invite Mr. Von Torsick to talk about the summer internship program. That this is year 3 for Al to run this program, and typically brings in 3 students to do a paid internship over the summer, learning lots of applicable skills to apply when they move on.
Hi there. I am Al Von Torsick, also a graduate of Leadership Geauga. I thought I'd throw that in there. For the past 3 years, we were able to hire some student interns to help us with technology projects and other projects over the summer. The one thing I tell them is not to focus in one career direction, but watch what happens here and how many different things we do. And you're going to find that employers want that diversity. Don't just say, I'm going to go, be a programmer and that's it. You got to have a diverse skill set. So we had Gwen Bowinger. How do you say Gwen's last name? Gwen Bowinger. She was a senior. She graduated. She was going on to start programming in college. Noah, behind me here, I'm not sure if he knows what he's doing yet, but he is really good with some of the technology stuff. And this is his second year here. So him and Gwen kind of took a little bit of a lead with cross peers, and we're kind of teaching him what they did the last 2 years. So it made my job a little bit easier. But they still came to me for direction and everything. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. 90% of our facility is technology based, from what you see here all the way down to the speed limit signs up on the road. So we did a big phone upgrade over the summer that brings a lot of great features, some safety features in there too. The interns help with that. Chromebooks, staff laptops, and we even had them painting. So I'll let Noah tell you more.
Hello, my name is Noah Valentino. I'm a senior this year. So as Al said, we did a lot of different stuff throughout the year, not just focusing on one thing. So we're more valuable and we know more about everything. We caught a loose bird in the building one day. So, that's not really technology based, but I guess we're still helping out. But we also were able to get CPR certified. We sat in on a CPR training and we are now both CPR and Stop the Bleed certified. And as Mr. Von Torsick said, we did a lot of behind the scenes, like we saw what the maintenance does every day. They're always working hard. And we saw that they're always running around helping somebody. So we also ran cables from the main tech room to the new makerspace. So more students are able to tap into the network that way. We updated and upgraded staff laptops. So the students and the teachers can have more, they're easy to work with. We also updated all of the Chromebooks in the building. That took a while. Having to go room to room to update all of them. We got about 400 new Chromebooks this year. We had to serialize them, put them in the inventory. We had to put cases on them, update them, and deploy them all. So that was also a lot of work. We also helped reset and deliver the new phones that were brought in this year, as well as update the old ones that were here. And then when it didn't quite work the first time, we had to go back and reset them all again. So, you got to make sure that everybody's phone is working. And we went, him and I, we went out to the street signs today and we made them, we programmed them for the upcoming school year. So that was interesting to learn. And then today I started updating the digital signage for the start of school. So the TVs that you see around the school that have the the digital signage on it, I'm starting the new one for that this year. So, and I just want to thank you guys for making this happen. I want to thank you for making this happen, and I want to thank Justin for making this happen too. Thank you guys. Do you guys have any questions?
Good for you. Yeah, what was, if there was one project that you're most proud of, which one was it?
Oh, I really liked doing the phones this year. It was really fun learning how they all kind of talk to each other, and then how they talk to outside too. And then the software that he uses to make sure that everybody's phone number is right. So, I think that was the best project that we did.
It's a big one. Cool.
Sounds like you did a ton this summer, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
What have you learned from the past, summers working with Al that may aid you in your career path and which direction you go?
That there's a lot more to do in IT than just sitting down at a computer. So, it really opens up what specific thing you want to do, if you want to do more facilities management or if you want to do more technical stuff like cybersecurity. But I think it made me focus more on wanting to do cybersecurity than something more of programming.
That's great.
How'd the soccer game go?
Well, our soccer scrimmage is tomorrow and our soccer practice today was hot and long.
Awesome.
So I think Noah alluded to, they touched every phone, about almost 200 phones, and every Chromebook, almost 2,000 Chromebooks. And the phone upgrade is significant because it adds to our safety plan, because now there is no more dialing 9 or 8 to get out. You just dial like a regular phone. And if 911's called, the dispatcher can see the exact room number that it's called from, because that's how detailed they can zero in on our phones now. And we also have apps. We use GoTo for the phone system, that we can do virtual meetings instead of using Zoom, and we can also answer and receive calls through an app on our cell phone if we're somewhere else in the building. So we never have an excuse not to answer the phone now.
Good.
Great job, Noah. Thank you.
Good
Thanks,
job.
Noah.
Thank you.
All right, well, I would like to request a motion to approve the following personnel actions for both certified and classified as listed.
So moved.
I'll second.
Dan. Any discussion? Roll call, Jody.
Mr. Manfredi?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Berman?
Yes.
I would like to request a motion to approve the student handbook, K-12 handbook as attached.
So moved.
Brian,
I'll second.
Jody. Any discussion? Jody, roll call, please.
I vote yes. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Berman?
Yes.
Mr. Manfredi?
Yes.
I would like to request a motion to approve payment per student in lieu of transportation for the following per Ohio Revised Code 3327.02 for the families listed.
So moved.
Brian?
I'll second.
Second. I'm sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
For anyone who may not understand, we are required to transport students, even if they go to private schools, if they're within a half-hour drive. And if that is impractical, then we pay for the transportation of those students. And there's a set amount that the state requires for us to pay. So that's what this is for.
John, are you seconding that, just to be clear? Or would you like me to?
I will second.
Okay.
Yeah. Any further discussion?
Is this number about similar to previous years as far as?
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy process where they have to apply by September. So there may be another set that gets voted on at the September meeting.
Any further discussion?
I can't believe we're talking about September meeting.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. Jody, roll call, please.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Berman?
Yes.
Mr. Manfredi?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Okay, I would like to request a motion to approve the following office staff and all certified staff who have completed the Public School Works course that is required to dispense medication as listed.
So moved.
Jody,
Second.
Brian. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Berman?
Yes.
Mr. Manfredi?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Next is a statement for the 2024-25 school year. The district is in compliance and will enforce all nutrition standards as outlined in the state law and USDA regulations, whichever is stricter. The standards are detailed in the board policies below: 8500 food services, 8510 wellness, 8531 free and reduced meals, 8540 vending machines, and 8550 comprehensive food sales. There's nothing to vote on for that. Just needed to inform you. And I would like to request a motion to approve the contract for Auburn Career Center for the 2024-25 school year. Coincidentally, since it was asked before, this is for the diesel instructor for the school year.
So move.
Brian. I'll second. Any discussion? Jody, roll call, please.
Mr. Manfredi?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Berman?
Yes.
Okay.
And I would like to request a motion awarding the contract to Millstone Management Group for the pre-K modular site utilities package as the lowest responsible bidder and authorizing the execution of the contract with the contractor as listed.
So moved.
Dan,
Second.
Brian. John, when would they begin their work
They're still,
approximately?
yeah, well, they're still waiting for this final approval from the state, but they're ready to mobilize as soon as that approval comes.
Okay.
And as soon as this is approved. So they could mobilize anytime after today, as soon as the state gives the final stamp on the drawings.
Has the state given any indication of the timing, or we're just kind of at their mercy?
They typically take a week or so every time they ask for some type of a change to the drawing. The fire dampers were the last thing, so we're hoping in another week.
Any further discussion? Jody, roll call, please.
I vote yes. Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Mr. Berman,
Yes.
Mr. Manfredi.
Yes. Okay. John, old business, I'm not sure if it's old or new, the Lakeland meeting that we're going to have this coming week.
That's new. The only thing I had in old business was an update on the court mediation with the fairgrounds, which, as I mentioned earlier, both the water and the eviction were put into one. So we'll be at Trumbull County on Wednesday, August 21st. And the court has asked for Jody and John as board president, vice president, Beth and myself, and then the fairgrounds. I'm not sure who's coming from the fairgrounds, but the goal is to hopefully put an end to everything at that meeting, but if it requires future meetings, to do them outside of the court. That's the only old business I have. We can go to new business, and I didn't have this on the agenda, but Mr. Manfredi and I will be going to Lakeland Community College to meet with their president this Thursday to discuss potential opportunities with some welding programming. So a potential partnership with Lincoln Electric and Lakeland College. Not really a full-blown welding program, but both of our ag ed programs require some welding. So we'll need some support for our ag ed teacher and for our diesel teacher for welding, and potentially some equipment for the students to work with.
Yeah, it's the expansion of what we already have, allowing our students to learn that trade as well. So that's
Other new business that I had was the evolution of the diesel program. I mentioned before that we are planning to move into the ODOT facility. We are going to shift from, right now the focus is on medium heavy truck kind of transportation diesel. We're going to shift to an industrial power and technology pathway, which is an agricultural ed pathway. And at the end of that pathway, through partnership with both Preston and Great Lakes Cheese and Auburn Career Center, our students will have, with some experiences at Great Lakes Cheese, the ability to apply those diesel industrial power and technology skills on a manufacturing side, and then with the Preston and Auburn connections, apply those on a transportation side. So the students won't have to just think about, I'm going to work on cars or trucks. It'll be any type of mechanical diesel work in the manufacturing, production, or transportation industry. So it'll give greater opportunities for the students. It'll also allow them to graduate with an industry recognized credential instead of just taking a course or two courses.
okay. Thank you.
Awesome.
Any other board discussion? Our next board meeting, Monday, September 9th, will be 1 week of school will be in. Woo-hoo. We'll see.
Only a week though, not 3 weeks.
Yeah, right, exactly. How exciting that is. John, I know of no reason for executive session.
Nope.
Okay. So we are at the part of the meeting for adjournment. I'll make the motion. Wow, what's going
Oh,
on?
so I thought you were going to ask for a motion
I thought that's
Like,
what I did.
for protocol. I will second.
Okay. Any discussion? Jody?
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Mr. Berman,
Yes.
Mr. Manfredi,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
And Linda's absent. Thank you all for coming this evening. All right, this is
Thanks,
one.
everybody.
This is Miller.